Hey, there he is.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
Oh, just living the dream.
Yeah. How's life? Good?
Not all things considered, not
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. Getting through COVID.
So yeah. Um, yeah. Actually, not. We had a pretty decent January, so
Good.
it's
Good.
so yeah. How's you? How's life?
Yeah, life's good. No complaints.
Yeah. How's school?
School's good. Love
Yeah.
always love teaching. So yeah, no, it's fun and getting back. I don't know if you knew, but one of the reasons that I started to do these, I've been doing it with more basketball specific coaches and trainers for a month or so, is because in October I had COVID, and then December I had bronchitis, and I got beat up a little bit because of it. Um, so I hopped online to keep myself stir crazy, or being away from being stir crazy. I started getting some basketball people online, and obviously I wanted to get some, basketball trainers, sport trainers online, and just kind of tell their story. So I appreciate you jumping on with
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. No problem.
Yeah. So Adam Lane, when did you this is Adam Lane from Oak Strength Fitness. How many years has it been since you took the plunge out of teaching to jump into Oak Strength full time? How many years ago was that, and why'd you end up starting it?
Yeah. We started the business in July of 2012. And then I stepped out of teaching, ran the business and teaching at the same time
Sure.
until I got out. May, June of 2016 was my last teaching. So
Okay.
however long that is, I guess coming on 5 years. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
So I think a bunch of years back, my buddy Danny Savage introduced me to you, or gave me your name, or whatever it might have been. But he said that you did an unbelievable job for like the Hananiga girls track and field team, and he'd always call you in. And he said if you need anybody to train your kids, Adam Lane's the guy. Um, is it
Savage is kind. He's very kind.
Savage bought me a bunch of beers back in the day, but
There
that's
you
that's not the reason I'm saying it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um, talk to everybody in regards to Oak Strength. Actually, let's start off with, like, where are you located? Um, exactly in Loves Park there.
Yeah, we are on Clinton Avenue or Clinton Road, just north of the Loves Park Post Office. So we are in the NetLynx Sports Warehouse. We have 13,000 square feet, about 4,500 reserved for our adult population and their training, and about 8,500 for our athletes and the sports performance piece. And then we're adjacent to basketball, VC United volleyball, two different baseball clubs, and then a jujitsu studio. So kind of in the middle of a lot of athletic things going on.
Sure. So when you say NetLynx, obviously that's the new name of the facility, but the old name of the facility it was
Was
Fusion, right?
correct. Yes.
Okay. And then talk to us just in regards to what you do. Like, I know you work with VC United a ton.
Mhm.
What exactly do you do with that volleyball program?
Yeah, so that was one of the reasons for the move. We originally the gym used to be in Roscoe for the first 5 years, and
Sure.
then we got connected with them, and they were looking for someone to. This is right when Club Fusion kind of had some separations of the
Sure.
heads of state,
Yep.
and the I guess director of the club decided to come to Rockford and start his own club called BC United, and he wanted to really separate their club from all the other clubs, with really create this very college atmosphere when it comes to the training of athletes. And so it's not just, hey, we're gonna pass, hit, and set, for two and a
Sure.
half hours and go play some tournaments and call it good. Like he wanted the full experience in the way of the training and the speed work and the vertical stuff, obviously, which is huge in volleyball. Along with and keeping them safe and injury resistant, along with all the volleyball piece. So we got talking to them, and then they had a need was truly what we do. And so we just have this really nice working relationship. And I don't work for them, they don't work for me, but we really need each other on this whole thing. And it's been a fantastic relationship.
Sure. So your facility, my I don't know if probably many people know this, but at one point a few years ago, I tried to get in shape with my wife. Um, we joined you for a couple months there.
Mhm.
And then for us, our schedules, my schedule particularly got in the way, but I loved it. And my wife just keeps beating me up like, hey, we got to go back to Adam. We got to jump back in Oak Strength. All of a sudden we're like, I'm shoving down hamburgers. And for me, most recently, I've made a commitment just to getting healthier because I was pretty sick and I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate the health until I lost it.
Yeah.
But talk to, I guess, just people in general. Like, I understand it. I know what you do. I know the optimism that you guys bring and your whole staff every morning when we were there. But I guess explain what you do and what Oak Strength is.
Yeah. So we two different umbrellas. So Oak Strength itself is our adult programming and our adult training. So we train very average adults, like yourself.
Or below average.
No.
I get it.
Highly talented adults like yourself. And your wife is who I'm
Right.
talking
There you go.
about. And just basic strength and conditioning training.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so we get people strong so they can carry the bag of dog food upstairs,
Yep.
and now get out of breath while doing it. So
Sure.
and then on the U side, which is completely different, we look to really train the high level athlete. No offense to the lower level athlete, but if somebody's
Right.
just looking to, like, we have a 12-year-old who's just trying to lose 10 pounds, we're really not a
Sure.
good fit for them. So we're really looking on the youth side there to drive athletic performance. We are a Sparta Science partner, so we use some pretty cool force plate technology in which to assess athletes, figure out what their weaknesses are, attack those weaknesses, and really make them bomb-proof from the injury standpoint of balancing out their eccentric, isometric, and concentric strength, but then also maximizing performance within that. Because if you have a car that's really humming on all cylinders, awesome. But if you have a Ferrari with a loose lug nut, you're still going to have issues. So two very, and so the U side is we go under the umbrella of Oak Performance, because those are performance people.
Sure. So I remember when how do you pattern, I guess, your packages for, let's say, the adult, or I guess the youth? Is it a 3-month commitment? Is it a month commitment? Do you have mini camps or whatever you might call them?
Yeah.
How do you pattern those workouts with those young kids? Let's say I'm a parent of a 12-year-old and he's a
Mhm.
pretty good football player and I want him to enhance his
Mhm.
athletic performance. What type of package do you put together them initially, without speaking about finances, but just kind of
Yeah.
like, hey, what
Yeah.
is it, a 2-week program? Is it a 2-day program a week? What is it?
Yeah, well, it kind of, every athlete's different. So I think
Yep.
that's I don't remember who said the quote, but one of my favorite quotes is something along the lines of a coach will have hundreds, if not thousands, of athletes in their career, but an athlete only has one career. So we really look at athletes very individually. Not everybody is the same. People come different backgrounds, different, whatever, different circumstances, etc. So we really try to meet athletes where they are. So if we know that they're just a football athlete and they have from November all the way through the next football season in which to get ready, we could take a little bit more of a I guess conservative approach. I want to call it slower,
Sure.
but to really build a base and attack it that way. And that's really where the Sparta Science piece comes into. We'll be able to scan an athlete, understand where they are, communicate that to the parent, to the kids. Hey, you're really good at this. This is lacking a little bit. We're gonna fill this gap and really attack your isometric strength, because hey, this change of direction piece, this amortization phase of the jump, when you create force, you put your foot into the ground, is just weak. And so we'll get it better. It'll take a little bit of time. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Sure.
But then we get them and we scan them. We scan them every like 3 to 4 weeks, just for them to see progress. Now, I love weight on the bar. When we put weight on the bar and kids get stronger, that's awesome. They use heavier dumbbells, that's great, but that's not necessarily a measure of their athleticism getting faster. I've seen really, really strong guys that can't jump. They don't really, they might not move well on the court or the field or whatever. And so we really try to, again, we're driving athletic performance. We're not driving CrossFit. We're not driving, bodybuilding. It's really their expression of athleticism. And then in the way of, we want to make sure we're a good fit for people. We really like what we do, but there's nothing hokey. There's nothing gimmicky. So everything we do is just month by month. People sign up for a month and we give it a go. If you like it, great. You want to keep going, awesome. And if you hate us and we're a terrible fit, that's fine too. That doesn't really happen very often, ever. But it's I don't like. There's so many different people in our space, and some people locally are very, very good, and some people locally are a little less good. And so that we don't want to trick people into thinking that we're something that we're not.
Yeah, absolutely. So in addition to the athletic component, you guys work with kids, or obviously my family with like their diet and everything along those lines. Can you explain just a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, and that that's kind of a can of worms too. So with the adults, we have since you've been there, we brought in a full-fledged nutrition coach because and Lauren does a fantastic job. So it's Reaction Nutrition is the company that we're partnered with. So
Awesome.
she does her thing, and she is in deep with the whole nutrition piece. And the reason why we're a good fit with Lauren is that she takes the same approach as we do, with our adult athletes, with our youth athletes, that everybody's unique, everybody's individual.
Yeah.
And we need to treat them as such. Like whatever nutrition plan diet might work for you might not work for your wife. So just to roll out, hey, eat this much protein, this much fat, this, you're a bigger guy, so you should eat more. Yeah, but maybe there are other things that are going on there that makes you different. And then on the youth side, she'll do the same thing on the youth side, which is fantastic. It's just a little bit different because the kids aren't the one buying the groceries, but we could still make smart recommendations in the way of, I mean, we have too many kids that just skip breakfast and they're not getting their protein needs on the day. And so all of a sudden they come to practice and they're wiped out. Like, we haven't even started. Like you can't be tired. So she's done a fantastic job.
If you were talking to parents of kids, or parents, I guess, themselves, what are the few things that you would turn around and ask them to change about their kids' diet? And the reason I ask that is because most recently I had to kind of hit a little bit of rock bottom in regards to kind of feeling like crap for a little while before I turned around and I had to make a decision to just eat better. And I've been eating, a big salad for lunch and a yogurt and some vitamins and supplements for breakfast. And then I'll eat whatever my wife eats or makes for dinner. And then
That's
I
good
haven't.
of you. Nicely done. Way to, and tell her it's delicious too.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. No doubt. So, people tell you paleo diet, people tell you intermittent fasting, people tell you plant-based diet. You read a lot of different things, and I've done that in the last month. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. So your job is to tell us the right answer.
Yeah.
But just a couple things that you would, if you're talking to a parent, what could they do to put in their fridge versus going to the fast food restaurants?
Yeah. Gosh, that's a loaded question.
I know.
Everybody's a little bit different.
Yep.
In the way of a lot of the trendy stuff, the intermittent fasting and stuff like that, it seems to, I would, the statement I will make is that youth nutrition is very, especially with performance athletes, is very different than the standard adult nutrition.
Sure.
I can't eat the same foods that I ate 20 years ago. They just don't sit with me well. I used hit a Big Mac and McDonald's, I feel fine 20 years ago. I do that now, and like 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, what happened?
Right.
So one of the, I guess the big push that we try to make with all high school kids, both boys and girls, is to really get your protein intake. So we really encourage kids eat as much, and however you want to get the protein. Animal protein seems to be the best, have the best amino acid profile and the way of being bioavailable and stuff like that. We have some, kids from the rural areas of Illinois, and they get, half a beef, and they have meat in the fridge, and that piece is fantastic. Some kids shy away from the meat a little bit more, so if they can find their protein sources from, even like nut butters, peanut butter, almond butter. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing.
Sure.
Better than eating just straight carbs all day, because really what we see kids undereat on the protein piece, but they're still hungry because they're athletes and they're very active. And so then they eat Cheez-Its and granola bars and Click
Right.
bars and all this processed stuff. And again, a lot of times they're healthy, they're fine, but at the end of the day, there's a good chance it works until it doesn't work anymore. They're leaving performance on the table, where if they were to eat, at least three solid meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, if not a couple snacks in there. Again, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're old like you and I,
Right.
we want to shed a few pounds and feel good. Totally different than hard charging 16, 17, 18-year-old kid who's, really needs to fuel themselves. So parent wise, I mean, we encourage people, like, shop the outside of the supermarket, just simple
Sure.
stuff, buy real food. You might have to learn how to cook, and then I
Yeah.
mean, because it's hard, and then we're busy. I think one of the things, I guess I'll end on here, is that one of my favorite things is people actually, like, plan out their weeks and, like, pack their lunches. So cook a bunch of meat, cook a bunch of vegetables, and throw it together, and hey, the kid now has breakfast. They don't have to think about, oh, I don't have time to eat breakfast. No, it's already there. Take it,
Right.
eat it, on your way to school. Not a big deal. Or lunch or snacks or whatever it is. But if you can literally make your lunch, like I used to in second grade,
Sure.
it's still beneficial now.
Sure. And jumping back to the gym just a second. It You work out with obviously young athletes, but that's boys, girls, that's multiple sports, that's basketball, football, that's track and field, obviously. Expand on that, just in regards to maybe the wide variety of kids that you work with. Plus, do you have the opportunities for teams to call you up and say, hey, we want to come work out as a team, or whatever it might be?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything under the sun. We do a lot with volleyball, obviously, because they're right
Yep.
there and adjacent to us, and made it super easy. But
Yep.
yeah, we have track athletes, football players, a good chunk of basketball guys, some high level basketball guys, which has really been great. JD Danforth hooked us up this summer with Fred, and got him on the Sparta plate and scanned him
Good.
out. And it's funny that I love Fred. He's not an amazing athlete,
Yeah.
but he plays the game so well, and understands the game so well. So we just keep him healthy and
Yep.
on the court. I think he scored 54 tonight.
It was a 54. I was gonna say that I saw at the end of the third quarter or something. It was like 46. So he
Yeah.
54, huh? That's
Yeah,
all.
I don't. Yeah, and that was with like 2 minutes left. So I'm
Okay.
assuming they pulled him at that point. But yeah, I mean, just a little bit of everything. And then I think the fun part on our end, in the way of being, I don't want to say creative, but like being able to use our expertise. Again, we have the Sparta plate. It gives us an idea how these athletes, create, transfer, and apply force. But it's not like the end all be all. It's not like we have to follow this verbatim, because again, every athlete's a little different. So, our football guys bench press way more than our swimmers do. Our basketball guys with, super duper insanely long legs squat differently than, our, I don't know, our track athletes that are a little bit
Sure.
shorter, sprinters, shorter, stockier. So just everybody's kind of different with that. And yeah, I mean, we have golfers, um, yeah, swimmers, everybody. It's really fun. It makes for a neat
Sure.
dynamic of
Yeah.
just a plethora of different sports, and kids are supportive of each other. And when a kid leaves for a season, then they come back. Kids are asking questions. Hey, how'd you do? And how was this? And it's kind of fun. They really care about each other's performance.
Sure. So some years ago, I don't know, probably not many people know this at all, but I was the entrepreneur who jumped out of teaching. And I remember you asking that question, and I said, just take the jump with 2 feet. Do you hate me, or do you love me? Um, After I knew you're probably gonna do whatever you
Yeah.
were gonna do anyways, but tell us what it's like to be an entrepreneur, and what the next 10 years look like. what do
Gosh.
5 years look like? What type of partnership you're going to jump into? I just think, I think the world of you. I think you're a bright, smart guy. And I guess I've never seen you have a bad day. And I just think that kind of the world is in your hands for the next 10 years. So where are you going, Adam? Let us know.
Yeah, no,
There's a
I,
lot
I
of, there's a lot of questions in there.
there is. I wish I could tell you that I really miss teaching, and man, there's a like empty spot in my heart without it. Um,
Yeah.
there's not. It's
Sure.
really and really, I feel bad. My wife still teaches. That's how we met. I was seventh grade science, or I was seventh grade math. She was seventh grade science.
Sure.
She's still seventh grade science because somebody has to pop for the insurance. So
Right. Right.
that end works. It works really well. But yeah, I feel so bad for teachers this last year.
Sure.
Holy cow. What she's doing now with the part-time, half the kids here, half the kids not, and then ooh,
Yep.
I would struggle with that. It has not been all rainbows and sunshine
Sure.
since I jumped out. um, Owning the business during 2020 with COVID and everything was
Yeah.
was a challenge. um, Things have worked out, and you know shucking out, and we actually during this time, and this is a few different things came into place for it to happen, but we just moved into that youth space back in September. So before that, we were operating our youth and adults out of about 4,500 square feet, which is still a fair amount of space.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, we still had our 40 yards of turf and stuff like that. It just stuff was a little bit more compact. Um, and so now to be able to have a complete hard wall between the youth and the kids, or the youth and the adults, they have their separate entrances, stuff like that. It's really, if I were to close my eyes to 9 years ago and think to myself, what do I want this to look like at the end of the day? This is pretty much what I want it to look like.
Sure.
It's a perfect size. It fits the big groups that we have.
Yep.
Again, mostly volleyball, but we get other groups in there.
Sure.
Basketball from time to time, baseball from time to time. And to be able to give these kids space, because we're looking to develop athletic performance, and athletic performance just doesn't happen in a 3 foot by 3 foot box. Like, these kids have
Sure.
to be able to sprint and change direction and jump, and not worry about running into the person next to them, or tripping over a weight, or something like that. So in the way of the actual size and the layout of the facility, it's pretty spot on right now. I think my big push over the next 5 years, I have fallen in love with the Sparta Science piece. Like, it's
Sure.
and they don't pay me to say this. I actually pay them quite a bit of money to use their product, but it has given me insight into athletes that before I just would guess on. I would look at a kid and be like, "Oh, you're a basketball kid, so vertical is a big thing. So we're gonna and well, to jump high, you need a lot of posterior chain, and so we're gonna do a lot of hip and hamstring work, and here we go." Um,
Yep.
and sometimes I'd guess right, and we'd watch kids, get more athletic and jump higher and sometimes, they get better, but maybe just not as much better. And you're like, weird. Why did Joey get so much better than Scotty? Wow, what's going on here? And now, Sparta has really given us this insight into, well, okay, well, this could be the reason why. And again, kids are so all over the place. Like,
Right.
you could,
Sure.
kid has a bad day, and you're getting bad information, bad data from that. But to be able to expand out this Sparta Science piece to because it is an expensive thing, and if not for our relationship with volleyball, and then the other, I guess, youth sports performance relationships that we have, we couldn't afford it. And so to be able to get this, because it travels really well, to get this place played out to different places, to get it out to high schools, um, to get it out to different clubs and stuff like that, to get them to help utilize it, so we can help uh, keep these athletes performing at a high level while staying injury resistant, while not having to make the trip to our place all the time,
Sure.
is really, I guess, my next big thing. Like, I would love for these kids to, and we've had this with a few different high schools, where we go in there, scan athletes, get them their program, they execute their program at their high school. We come back a month later, rescan them, and we reassess. If we had to change programs, we change programs. If they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, we keep them on that program. But we've seen some nice results from that, because the reality is, not every kid can do their practice at their school location, wherever they are,
Sure.
get to our place 2-3 times a week, and
Sure.
just kids have so much going on. So if we can blow up this Sparta Science piece and really help more kids, you know, stay healthy and you know, perform at a high level, I'm pretty jazzed about that.
So with the Sparta Science piece, you in essence would receive a phone call from a football coach, a volleyball coach, a track and field coach, or whatever it might be. You go in and implement the program for that particular coach at that high school, and then just
Yep.
work with them, obviously through that, and potentially maybe just monitor their program as they go. Is that what
Yeah.
I'm basically
Yeah.
hearing? Okay.
So I mean, really as easy as going in, scanning athletes. We have an app. Um, every athlete, again, depending on how, you know, we could have a freshman in high school and a senior scan out similarly, but understand that a senior, you know, who's been lifting weights for the last 4 years, heavy and hard, versus the freshman who's never touched a weight in their life, probably
Sure.
need two different programs, even though, you know, their scan is similar. So being able to very much individualize what they're doing. The app has, you know, the videos of the movements, the reps, the weight.
Gotcha. Nice.
Um, but then at the same in the same breath, we educate their coaches on, hey, this is what you're looking for. This group is looking for this. This group is looking for this. Make sure we have this. Obviously, stay safe in the weight room.
Right.
Sometimes we have coaches that they're really good at their sport coach. They're not good in the weight room.
Sure.
So we have to educate them a little bit because we want people to be safe.
Yeah.
Because you could have the greatest, you know, force plate tech in the world, and if kids just screw off in the weight room during that time,
Right.
we're not going to see any results. But then, yeah, and really, then we kind of monitor the kids' program to make sure that they're, you know, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now they could just be checking boxes too. They could be making stuff
Sure.
up. But most kids, once they start feeling better, they get a little bit more comfortable with the weights. We rescan them, and they see their scan go up. That's when they really get excited, and now they find purpose in what they're doing, as opposed to, oh, I'm just lifting weights because coach tells me to. No, I'm
Right.
lifting weights because last month I put 2 inches on my vertical and I'm fired up and I want to keep going.
Sure. So when I was in there with my wife and we were working out, that space there, that 4,500 square feet, you're telling me that there's an additional space on top of that for then just kids? I guess that,
Correct.
and that is
Yes.
back where the either the kickboxing or karate used to be at Fusion, or is that, am I going the wrong
Nope.
direction?
Going the other way. Yeah. So where
Okay.
baseball was. Yep. So
Gotcha.
yeah, RBA moved to a different corner. And it actually worked out really, really well. They got a cleaner, nicer spot, and then we were able just to kind of open everything up, and yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I know that they continually do different remodels in there, but your gym in that space is certainly beautiful. It's really nice.
It's worked out nice. It's let me tell you, we've had a ton of help with people kind of
Sure.
just putting all of it together, because moving and expanding gyms is heavy and hard and exhausting. So I don't want to move anymore.
Sure. So recently, Jerry's over doing some basketball, and I was in there,
Mhm.
and I realized that Fusion, or I guess NetLynx, is now it's kind of sectioned off in regards to like when you enter, like the typical Fusion
Yep.
entry. That's particularly for volleyball and baseball, correct? But you can always access your area from there. Or is it best to come in the side of the building there to come into your spot?
Yeah, well, probably this what side is that? Never each we the west side. West side, we have two signs. For the two different entrances. One says Oak Strength, which is the adult side. One says Oak Performance, which is the youth side. So, I mean,
Performance.
yeah, during business hours, we're there and open, and yeah, people can access our space right through there. Or you can also park on the north side of the building and come through the main doors, and you know,
Gotcha.
enter that way also.
So if someone's watching this and like Adam Lane's the guy, and my experience with you and my relationship with you has always been incredibly awesome. And I'd be happy if all of a sudden there's a bunch of people that watch this video and 5 people or 10 people or 20 people sign up. That would make my day. We're going to certainly shoot it off to a couple thousand people. I can't say that a couple thousand people read our emails anymore.
I bet they do if they come from you, Jason.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but you know, it hits, you know, several hundred families. And I couldn't be a bigger proponent of somebody like I am for you. So if we can help drive some traffic to you, It's just not what we specialize in as a basketball program.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great coaches that know their stuff, that do great things with kids, but they don't train the way that you do. My wife always gives me crap because we used to send our kids to Danny McClarty, who does basketball training. And she's like, why are we sending our kids to Danny McClarty when you coach? And I said, it's totally different. I don't handle the basketball like Danny. I don't claim to handle the basketball like Danny. I don't claim to train like, Adam Lane does. And that's why I do these interviews. So certainly it started with COVID, but now we're just continually pushing it out. So hopefully we drive you some traffic.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate this too, because I think I think it's fun, because let me tell you, I actually did coach basketball back in the day, but it's been so long that
Sure.
if my kids get into it, I'm not coaching them. Let the sport coaches handle
Sure.
that piece. I can do the strength and conditioning piece, but yeah, I love that division where people get very specific with it, because I don't know. There's a bunch of football coaches from back in the day. I did the Bigger, Stronger, Faster program bac in 1994, and
Oh, sure. Yeah.
things have changed. I mean, no different than the game of basketball has changed since
Right.
1994. It's a different high school game. So
Sure.
yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything that you said there.
So, in regards to the best way to reach out to you or follow you via social media, I'll do my best, although it's not great, in regards to putting a little blurb on the screen in regards to your Instagram and your face. I know you do a lot on Facebook because I follow you there. Is it Facebook? Is it Instagram? Where are you at? How do we contact you? What's the best approach?
Yeah, any or all the above. Oakstrength.com. I mean, you can access both the youth and the adult piece there.
Okay.
On social media, we have everything separated out. So Oak Strength on Facebook, Oak Strength on Instagram, and then Oak Performance on Facebook and Oak Performance on Instagram. So if you're looking for the youth stuff, go to the Oak Performance stuff. If you're looking for adult, go to Oak Strength stuff. This is probably more youthish, but
Sure.
yeah, it's gotten fun. We try to do our best on social media to really highlight our kids and their successes and stuff like that. Because even during this crappy last 12 months, we still have kids that are kicking butt and persevering. And
Sure.
we just had a girl sign with Troy University last night. We're
Nice.
jacked up about, and just yeah. So I really, before I didn't like the social media stuff, and now on the youth side, just to really be able to support our kids and highlight them, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
kind of gotten addictive for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you do a good job with it. Real quick, because this just kind of popped into my head, but when my wife and I were coming, you have a ton of like older adults, my age or younger or a little bit older or whatever it might be.
Older adults your age, whatever.
Oh shit, I'm 47. I know I look 35, but I'm 47. Sorry to break your heart. Yeah, no, I'm an older adult. I mean, heck, yeah, I feel it. Let's put it that way. But having said that, there's a ton of people that come in, work out in the morning, right? Get showered, get dressed, head to work, and then they're starting their day. Is that the biggest part of your adult program, or you guys go throughout the day, etc.?
Yeah, pretty balanced. We have a
Sure.
5 o'clock class, a 6 o'clock class, and then a 9 a.m. class in the morning. And then we go 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the PM. And it's pretty balanced between our morning crew and our PM crew. It just really depends on what people's schedules have. Some people only can work out at 5 a.m. Other people can only work out at 6 p.m. So
Sure.
yeah, convenience is a big thing with adults and working out, and busy parents running kids around and stuff like that. I'm very easy, or I'm the first one to admit that my fitness is not going to be perfect, because my family's going to come first. And
Sure.
if Adam misses a workout, I'll be okay.
Sure, absolutely. So obviously you shared your website and some social media channels. Is the best contact Adam at Oak Strength, or is there another better channel?
Yeah, Adam at Oak Strength, info at Oak Strength.
Okay.
Our GM is Matt Mulvena. Matt does a phenomenal job. Matt at oakstrength.com. So
Okay.
yeah, however you want to reach out. We have contact things on the website, so it's
Okay.
all kind of out there. Prices are and stuff like that are on the website. We're not trying to hide anything from anybody. And
Sure.
yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Well, I appreciate your time.
yeah,
And as you know, you can always reach out to me if you ever need anything.
yeah.
And hopefully this drives several families to come to Oak Strength, and hopefully they can improve their fitness in their lives.
Yeah, Jason, I appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this. I didn't
Yeah.
really know what to expect, so this is a lot of fun.
You thought I was going to dress up like as a clown or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know. Hey, there's a
Didn't
Zoom
know.
call. Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Well,
Any chance I get to talk to you
oh
face to
shit, you're
face,
full of it.
that is, it's a win on the day.
Uh,
So, yay for me.
yeah, Chuck, knock it off your bucket list, right?
There you go.
All right. Well, thank you
Awesome.
much.
Yes, you're welcome, bud.
Have a good one, Adam.
Thanks. You too.
Bye.